I'd like to think that I know a thing or two about the difficulties of trying to build agents on a fragmented data set, right? So how are things today? Where are things going? What do we expect to see in the space over the next few years, right? First things first, agentic apps, right? Do you really think next couple of years that your sales users will continue to update data in CRM manually? That the business analysts who are going to file a ticket to get a dashboard are going to also do that manually once that data is updated? Or what about the actual dashboard user who will go ahead and make that dashboard? Is that going to continue to be manual? Probably not. I think all of you know that the various ERPs, ticketing tools, CRMs, and warehouses all have their edge AI built in. Whether or not you pay for it, it exists. It is out there. People are using it. What about technical documentation, right? What used to be the biggest barrier to entry for SWEs, data engineers, and whatnot to really communicate with the front of the line go-to-market people was technical documentation, right? The jargon, the phrasing, the context that used to be super difficult to those users is now parsed by LLMs, right? You can ask an LLM like GPT or Claude, you know, what this document says, and it will turn it into layman's language, making it easier to understand. So will that barrier still be there? Again, probably not. And then how about data, you know, using it as the foundation for your context, right, as part of an AI strategy? I think we will continue to see this. What good is the fancy, you know, shiniest, newest AI model if the foundational data under it is still garbage, right? I think we all know the old garbage in, garbage out mentality. It will continue to get worse as we get more data and more bots, right? So what does this mean? Odds are your strategy for AI and agent implementation is based off an old premise that is not including agents in every system or a modernization technology, and that strategy is likely dead, right? So what does this mean? What do we think we're going to do, right? You can't just build a data warehouse and say, great, I have the foundation for AI now, right? A warehouse is not a data strategy. All you are doing is replicating the bad frames and ideas and thoughts that were already done in your analytics warehouses, in your service systems, in your marketing automation, in your ERPs and sales systems, right? What you're gonna do is create a backlog of change, updates, and management for your data engineers and your technical users to try and reactively build AI that meets the needs of people that are changing every single day. So you might now be thinking, you know, hey Jack, I've bought a data warehouse. They told me that it would be the foundation for my AI. So far it's going okay. What do you know? What do I know about this kind of thing? Well, my assumption is that the strategy you are likely going to start moving towards one way or another is data inputs from manual users. You're gonna have chat logs and bots who are updating information, maybe automations in those tools, and files that funnel into your warehouse, your compute warehouse that is, where you will ETL it, do some sort of transformation to put it in an analytics warehouse, where you can build reporting and dashboards on that data as a whole, and where you can let people consume it by filing tickets and asking for updates on information, right? This is what is commonly done today. And if you consider that there is going to be AI on those end systems, like we mentioned a moment ago, you are going to throw LLMs into those chatbots and services where people are interacting with them. And you can throw parsers and OCRs that are based off agents to sift through that data before it goes in the warehouse. What about throwing agents on every part of the path on both your analytics warehouse, your compute warehouse, and in your ETL process via your data pipelines, right? You have something that is agentic. Yes, it is autonomous. You can set this up to run independently, but do you account for governance? Do you account for how people make mistakes in setting this up? Do you account for how data is changing and what somebody needed yesterday is likely not what they will need tomorrow, right? Everything you build today is in that current steady state. So what do we do, right? A lot of analysts, Gartner, DBTA, a bunch of different vendors believe master data is the solution for the foundation of AI and agent building, copilot building as well. But I think as we all know, if you've been a part of a master data management deployment, it's archaic and it is a nightmare to turn on, super expensive. And if you do get off the ground, right, it is really hard to change things, to do something different, to make an update, unless you are part of that entire process, which might be multi-years. Now, that in mind, it doesn't mean that master data management is useless, right? The idea is good. This idea that you have a master control plane where you have a all-in-one solution for governance, for observability, for tracking the data changes across your different systems. So what do? How do we achieve those outcomes while bypassing the legacy pains of an old school technology? Well, this is what I'm trying to do, what we're trying to do at Syncari, right? This idea of agentic MDM, where you use the warehouse you've already procured as your data plane, where you use the master data management solution as a control plane, have them exist in the same ecosystem, and use tailor-made, purpose-built AI or agents on various parts of the platform specifically for what they're designed to solve for. Things like data quality, things like governance agents, things like pipeline or workflow agents. All of these are tailor-made to do specific tasks as part of a larger ecosystem. What this means is you can start to bridge yourself and prep yourself for the way things will change. If people are consuming edge agents in, say, Salesforce, Agentforce, for example, you better make sure that the governance plane, the control plane, the data plane exists in Salesforce. You can't create another silo. You have to make sure that you have that active context to your data in every application where people are running their models, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Our approach is that we are solving these agentic pieces out in the wild. We're putting that context for your agents back in every application, making sure that you have that structure to do so. I'm not saying you have to buy Syncari, right? You can spend money and you can, engineer this yourself. I really encourage you guys to not build everything only solely in a warehouse, but to really work together to say, hey, master data is my control plane, the warehouse is my data plane. I'm gonna build these in tandem, right? You have to consider people and process, not just technology, right? It doesn't matter what technology you buy. If the 5 people who are part of the board do not agree what a product is or what a customer is or how we're going to manage that, it doesn't matter what you do, right? So I encourage you to think about those things as part of that process. And when you're ready, come talk to us, right? We're doing this in the wild, right? This is stuff that we're doing with our customers today, things we've deployed within the past year for various people, trying to provide that agentic AI framework on top of their master data, giving people the ability to consume that data no matter if they're technical or non-technical users in those different end environments. So that's kind of what I have prepared today. I hope this was helpful to some capacity. You can come visit me at my booth outside. I will be there. I'm happy to show it to you, happy to talk about what we can do for you. You can connect with me. I am a real person. My name is Jack Smith, so it is hard to find me. But you are welcome to reach out to me or reach out to Syncari, and we can talk about not only if you want to use us to solve this agentic MDM, or if we want to talk about how we can help you build the foundations for such. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jack.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask, we do have a couple minutes.
Yes.
Are there any questions, comments? I mean, kind of a fresh take on MDM. I'll give you that. I mean, and I believe it because it makes sense. And I think a lot of us are exploring this space of agentic and how it applies to what we've always been doing, make it easier and better. Looks like they're on the forefront of that. So any comments or thoughts?
Can't hurt my feelings, I promise.
Yeah. Well, like he said, Jack's going to be here for the next couple of days.
Yep.
Next door, you can stop by his booth, probably get a nice demo, all of that good stuff, and ask more questions there. So, all right. Well, thank you, Jack.